you're slightly early. Oh, I apologize. I didn't mean to alarm you, merely to praise you for running ahead of schedule. It's intended as a compliment. I had predicted you'd have to spend longer climbing up to the ramparts, but clearly I underestimated your ability with the grappling hook. You can put that silly dagger away, dear. It certainly looks very impressive, but I'm afraid you won't be using it tonight. No? Very well. If you'd prefer to hold on to it, I won't press the issue, especially if it brings you comfort. You do look rather like a child clutching their favorite doll, which somewhat lessens the fearsome murderer aesthetic you clearly wish to achieve with your costume. The mask hides your face, but I can sense your confusion regardless. This isn't quite how you expected tonight to unfold. Is that correct? I suppose that slow nod will have to do as a response. I don't know why I expected more. It's not like assassins are famed for their talkativeness. Allow me to guess how you envisioned this assignment. A stealthy entrance through that window before finding me deep in sleep, entirely ignorant of the end of my life drawing near. One quick stab, then it's back the way you came, on the road disguised as an ordinary traveler, before my corpse is discovered. The Queen of Lysen, murdered in a locked room, a mystery that will remain unsolved for eternity. Does that sound about right? Of course it does. Before I continue, could you refill my goblet with wine? As I said, you're early. I wasn't planning on greeting you with a drink in hand, but now that you're here, you might as well make yourself useful. A dangerous thing, entrusting an assassin with preparing a drink. I'm sure you have at least a dozen different vials of venoms and toxins on your person. Still, something tells me you won't use them. At least not until you've heard what I have to say. I have different intentions than murder for tonight. Still, you've done exceptionally well so far. I had to ensure nothing seemed amiss to you, hence the extreme level of security you've had to circumvent. Out of interest, did you have to swim through the moat? Given the drawbridge isn't lowered, I presume that was your only option. But you look less sodden than I would have thought. Really? I never anticipated you could use your grappling hook to tightrope walk between the outer and inner battlements. Very well done. Now, what about the dog patrols? I ordered the guards to ensure their routes and times would be entirely random, so I just have to know how you infiltrated your way through. I haven't heard a single bark while I've been waiting, so you must have been very stealthy. Chunks of meat fired out of a catapult to distract them. In all of my planning for this night, I never could have envisioned something so devious. I am thoroughly impressed. Is that a technique the wretched blades teach all of their acolytes? Or something you devised? Suddenly you're gripping that dagger a lot tighter. Did I say something to offend you? You seem rather distressed. Ah, I understand now. You're frightened because I mentioned your guild. My darling, did you really think I was anticipating your arrival, yet was unaware of who sent you? I am very familiar with the wretched blades, perhaps to an even greater degree than you are. Of course, everyone's heard the stories. There isn't a tavern on the continent where dreadful tales aren't whispered when the lanterns run low. Immoral killers with no mercy, who can appear and vanish with the flickering of a candle. Wealth, power, and status matter not to them. Emperors, archbishops, and nobles have all fallen victim to their blades. I, however, understand the reality of the enterprise. I have contracted your guild myself several times, on the few occasions where diplomacy and subterfuge have failed. Always with flawless results, though, even if the cost of a contract is exorbitant. If I recall correctly, from my visit to your headquarters many years ago, the black cowl you're wearing indicates your status as a despicable, correct? The lowest rank of assassin, above the acolytes in training. I'm sure a contract of this importance would elevate you to the grey cowl worn by the bone race, before you finally ascend to the elite status of the ivory blade and get to wear one of those repulsive skull masks. I can tell the depth of my knowledge about your organization unsettles you. It should. I'm aware of far more than you can presently understand. Before we continue, however, I have a request. Remove that ridiculous mask and take a seat on the bed. It feels like I'm talking to a mannequin. Despite the fact you came here tonight intending to kill me, we can still have a civilized conversation. My. I don't know what I was expecting exactly, but I am pleasantly surprised. I suppose you naturally imagine assassins to have a face covered in scars, or marred by pockmarks, but you look so ordinary. It's rather charming. I could easily see you as a minor courtier in my palace, having dalliances with nobles. Still, there's something in your eyes that tells me you carry deep scars on the inside. That scowl is unbecoming of you, my dear. I apologize if my compliments have punctured the aura of fear you assassins are taught to adopt. But the truth is, I fail to find you anything other than adorable. The annoyed expression isn't going away anytime soon, is it? No matter. We have much to discuss. On your long journey here, did you ever consider why the Blades would send a lowly despicable to kill one of the most powerful rulers on the continent? A target of my status would usually be dealt with by a team of the guild's finest assassins. Did the fact you were alone concern you, or only fuel your ambition to succeed? So you did feel confused. Thank you for your honesty. I had suspected you harbored doubts about this assignment. Your traveling speed began to slow considerably as you drew nearer. And why else would you have stayed for an additional 2 days at the tavern in Harlow? Don't look so surprised, my dear. I've been having you watched since the moment you left the Wretched Blade's headquarters. You've been followed for every step you've taken until your arrival here. And I arranged for specific interactions to take place to learn more about your state of mind. The talkative little girl who insisted you play dolls with her in Elsby. The old man begging for coin on the side of the road. And of course, the flirtatious barmaid at the Harlow Tavern. All my operatives, extensively trained in providing me with detailed reports on the conversations with you. I must admit, seeing the shock on your face is immensely gratifying. I never really get the chance to reveal my schemes to the unwitting target, so this is a rare delight. If it makes you feel any better, you never had any chance of discovering the deception. I operate the largest and most advanced spy network on the continent. This is how Lysen maintains its sovereignty, you see. We are far smaller than our neighboring kingdoms and command little in the way of natural resources. I have spies in every court, temple, and marketplace, as well as undercover operatives, shaping policies and wars as I see fit. I see all. No, you should be asking something different. I understand you want to know more about how I tracked you on your journey, but I need you to use your intellect and observe the bigger picture. There are 3 very important questions I need you to answer for me. First, why did the Wretched Blades send you instead of a higher-ranking assassin? Correct. They foresaw only a slight chance this mission would succeed, and thus decided to send you. Someone who they had invested less resources in and would be easier to replace. Does that revelation provoke any emotion in you? Sadness? Anger? You deny it, but I can tell you're lying. It does hurt you deeply to be so easily discarded. That is a perfectly valid feeling. Consider the harsh training they put you through, instructing you to maim and kill since you were barely old enough to hold a knife, giving you a purpose. Everything you suffered, the trauma you endured, just to be sent on a suicide mission? Don't turn away. I understand you've been taught that displaying emotion is weakness, but I will not punish or mock you. I feel empathy for you and your predicament. You're barely an adult, but you've been through so much, seen and done things no child should. I never intended to feel anything for my assassin other than contempt. In fact, I had planned to have you disappear early in your journey, staged as a bandit attack or tavern brawl. But of course, I was expecting a hardened, ruthless killer to be sent by your guild. Not you. When the old beggar asked you for money, you gave it without a second thought, despite the limited funds you had been provided for your journey. When that bothersome little girl cornered you in an alleyway and asked you to play with her, you spent nearly an hour there, despite your obvious embarrassment. I can't imagine you ever played with toys as a child, did you? Kindness is not a trait found in assassins. It is beaten out of them, slowly extinguished with every throat they cut and cup they poison. Eventually nothing remains in the hearts. But somehow you retained your humanity, despite all you've suffered. You showed it on your journey time after time, when you could have been dismissive and cruel. Time for my second question. The wretched Blades accepted a contract to assassinate me. Who placed it? I have many enemies, after all. Think hard. I want to see just how calculating you can be. The King of Ruvan. An astute response, considering the long simmering conflict between our two nations. But no. I bought the contract on my own head. An unorthodox move, but it was the only way to determine whether I am still considered off limits by the wretched Blades. You see, many years ago I received an informal agreement with your leader, the Crone, in return for sensitive information I provided regarding another kingdom's succession plans. I was considered protected, with any assassination contracts placed against me to be refused. However, we both know your guild isn't as prosperous as it once was. We live in a time of unprecedented peace, so the business of providing hired killers isn't exactly lucrative. In such circumstances, would the agreement be honored if a high enough price was placed on my head? As we can see from your arrival here, unfortunately not. I'm thus left with the only one option, to destroy the wretched Blades, eliminating the entire organization in one swift blow. Several hours ago, a significant force of my soldiers should have assaulted your headquarters, leaving no survivors. The records we find there will be used to hunt down any assassins out fulfilling contracts. There will be no more tales told in taverns of mysterious killers striking then vanishing. The people of the continent will be able to sleep without fearing a knife in the back. You look distressed again. I hope it's not out of pity for the other Blades. We both know that your empathy makes you a rarity among your peers. No one will mourn those cruel, violent butchers. Oh, I see. Your unease is due to the unanswered question of where you fit into this grand plan. You can't return to guild headquarters. It should be a smoking ruin by now. You could disappear into the night, travel far away from here, and start a humble new life as a farmhand or shopkeep. Is that what you want? To be a commoner, living out an unremarkable existence? It's perfectly understandable you're unsure. You've only known a particularly brutal kind of life. I suspect you'd find the monotonous rhythm of peasant work suffocating. You've seen and done too much to fit in with everyday folk, after all. What if there was another option, where you stayed here with me? No, not as my prisoner. What use would I have for you rotting in a dank cell underground? I wish to employ you as my personal attendant and bodyguard. No one knows best how to defend against assassins than a former assassin. You infiltrated this castle expertly, Now you could use your skills to defend it. I understand your concern that this would simply be a continuation of your violent existence. But the truth is, I expect very few threats wouldn't be swiftly thwarted by my regular guards and spy network. The prospect of you needing to use the blade again is slim. Besides, my interest in you runs deeper than simply having you trail behind me like a guard dog. What do I mean? I'm implying a more intimate relationship. As my attendant, you'd be the first person I see when I awake, and the last before I fall asleep. You'd come to learn my moods, my likes and dislikes, my innermost thoughts and desires. I would rely on you utterly. Somehow that makes you look even more nervous. You shouldn't really find this intimidating. We already established I find you adorable. So most of the time I would be doting on you and showering you with affection instead of being demanding. Or is that what makes you nervous? You haven't experienced much kindness from your previous employers. You probably have no idea what real affection is, do you? It's all right, my dear. I see your shoulders stiffening. I know how difficult it is to suddenly receive tenderness after a childhood filled with pain. You'd probably prefer to be beaten with canes than to have to feel the emotions kindness provokes within you. But I promise you, in time, your resistance to being loved will fade away. My third and final question, then. What is your choice? If you wish to run, you'd best escape now before dawn begins to break. But if you wish to stay with me, please bolt that window you climbed in from. The room is getting awfully cold. Thank you for placing your trust in me, my darling. I promise you won't regret it. Let me give you your first task as my attendant. To get some rest. Tonight's revelations must be overwhelming to process. Take off that restrictive armor and get into my bed. I want to keep an eye on you while you sleep to ensure you can finally relax. You don't have to be a weapon any longer. We'll find out who you want to become. Together. You're late. Don't give me that petulant look. I've been very clear about my expectations when it comes to your duties. No working after 7, for any reason. I know how you like to patrol the ramparts and check on the guards, but you're not permitted to work this hard. Your primary duty is to please me, lest you forget. And it does not please me to be sitting alone in our bedchamber while you are out in the cold, checking whether the banners hanging from the battlements aren't easily climbable, or whatever paranoid concern it was tonight. Don't think I didn't notice how early you left this morning either. I reached over for you and found only cold sheets instead of your warm embrace. It left me in an irritable mood all day. The Vernese ambassador has you to thank for being disciplined so harshly. So, how will you right this wrong you have committed? I'm waiting to hear your ideas. No, a kiss is not enough. We both know that's a guarantee for tonight, regardless. There hasn't been an evening in months that didn't include hours of our lips locked together. I want you to use your creativity. Spank you. Now we're getting somewhere interesting. The sudden appearance of a stammer as you spoke was a lovely bonus. As delightful as I find your posterior, I have something gentler planned for tonight. Why does the word gentle provoke fear in you? I thought we'd begun to move past this. You'd still rather be beaten than express vulnerability, wouldn't you? I know you were taught you were unworthy of affection and care, but that was a lie born of cruelty. You're safe to expose your inner self to me. Those who hurt you are nothing but mouldering bones now, darling. The headquarters where you were trained is a pile of ashes. You are free. So let's begin your punishment. I want you to stand in front of me and tell me 3 aspects of yourself you take pride in. I see you looking towards that window. Don't even try to think about escaping. You must atone for neglecting your duties. I'm waiting to hear the first thing you're proud of, darling. Speak clearly now. No, I'm afraid I'm not going to accept any answers related to your skills as an assassin or bodyguard. I want you to suggest something deeper within you, more innate. Think hard now. You're proud of keeping yourself in good health. I suppose that's a valid example, if a little boring. Still, I can't disagree. The last time I saw you training, and your shirt was clinging to your body, showing off your assets, I thought of nothing else all day. Your second response, darling? Perhaps something related to your temperament this time. Pride from being kind to others. A better answer, especially considering it's what attracted me to you in the first place. You have a truly compassionate soul, my darling. Although, I may suggest that kindness shouldn't extend to everyone you encounter. Those nobles who swarmed you at last month's ball, they don't deserve to converse with you. Remember who you belong to. Your final point of pride, my dear. Make it a good one. That means a great deal to me. To be proud of making me happy. It's... No, of course my eyes aren't tearing up. Don't be ridiculous, my love. It's just the reflection of the candlelight, nothing more. Come here. mm. Mm. You're getting so much better at kissing. The first time my face drew close to yours, you flinched as if you'd been struck. Now you're starting to express your passion. And you finally learned that your tongue has more uses than simply talking. I missed you, darling. I'm going to have to amend your official tasks to keep you closer to me during the day. Of course, I may simply revoke all of your duties. After everything you've suffered through, you deserve a life of indolent luxury. You're compelled to feel useful, though, aren't you? You still haven't grasped that even when you're doing nothing at all, you're still so very important to me. Seeing your smile, or feeling you gently squeeze my hand whenever you feel nervous, it invigorates me in a way nothing else can. Come, sit on the bed for me. I want to get on your lap. You make for an exceedingly comfortable seat, my dear. Of course, I have to be careful not to move about too much. Wouldn't want you thinking of anything naughty. Is that a blush? Or did you suddenly put on rouge for me? You are so delightfully easy to tease, darling. I'll never understand how another woman didn't maneuver you into her bed before I did. I've a very important task for you, sweetheart. This will require all of your skills and experience to successfully perform. I command you to not let out a gasp when I kiss the weak spot on your neck. A complete defeat. I'd be lying if I said I was disappointed, though. It's adorable to see the stoic former assassin so flustered. Tomorrow night, we'll see how you respond to me using my tongue to trace a path down your neck. Something tells me you'll feel that as well. Come, hold me tighter, darling. The stress and annoyances of the day always vanish when we're nestled together. There's nothing I enjoy more than this. I feel utterly at peace in your embrace. All the burdens of leadership simply melt away like fallen snow. Last week, Countess Eveline asked me whether you were my courtesan, you know. I think witnessing me press you against the wall in the dining hall gave her the idea. I was tempted to say that you were. Of course, as my courtesan, you would need a different outfit. I'd imagine you would wear a few tiny scraps of silk and nothing more. I'd like you to attend court tomorrow, by the way. There's a delegation of merchants from the city-states arriving, and I'll need you close by so I don't die of boredom. Of course, I'd much rather be sitting on your lap like this rather than my throne while they ramble on, but I do have to make some concessions to propriety. You should have some wine to help you relax. I just received an excellent vintage from the south. There's a glass already prepared for you. No, you can't hold the glass, darling. You know how I like to do this. Open your mouth for me. Oh, very good. You always look so vulnerable when I hold your throat for you. Makes me want to see your reaction if I gripped a little tighter. What's this on your hand? A cut? My darling, what did you do? It does not matter if it's hardly noticeable. I noticed it. This is yet another piece of evidence you've been overexerting yourself. These hands should be as soft as calf skin, not marred by nicks and calluses. Can I trust you to be more careful? I very much hope so. Otherwise, I'll have to devise an even more onerous punishment for you. Perhaps I'll order you to write me a poem about your feelings for me. Darling, do you ever think about your previous life? I know from experience how difficult it can be to gain release from the hold memories can have over you. Sometimes when I glimpse you staring into space, I wonder whether you're reliving something terrible. I'm so sorry to hear that, my love. I wish my kingdom extended to those dark reaches of your mind, and that I can send my troops to eradicate those dreadful traces of your past. The freedom you've earned should be absolute. You are definitely making progress nonetheless. The first time I saw you express happiness, it set my heart aflame. I believe it was the day you presented the new guard patrol schedule to me. I complimented your attention to detail, and you suddenly flashed me with that shy little smile. I could barely contain myself. I can't express how much it meant to provoke pride within you. After that moment, my priorities completely changed. I find myself always seeking new methods to coax out that same smile, to see you express excitement and joy. I've showered you with enough gifts to purchase a mansion, but I learned over time extravagance matters little to you. Simple affection and intimacy is what truly moves you. Something tells me you wish to ask me something. Specifically, the hesitant look in your eyes. Speak, sweetheart. There's nothing you can't say to me. I will never understand the intricacies of your mind. No, my love, of course I'm never going to get tired of you. I'm utterly besotted with you, and I've never felt anything close to this for any other person. You will remain at my side forevermore. I think it's time for our usual evening ritual. You know the procedure. Shirt off. Hold a moment before the next step. Keep that position. Then turn around slowly. Delightful. As long as I live, I'll never tire of that sight. You can continue now. Face down on the bed for me. Very good. Now, where were we? I believe we'd finished with the scars on your shoulder blades, so we can start going through those on your lower back. Let's see. I think this one, the large mark that resembles a spiral. Tell me how you received this laceration. Leave nothing out. I know speaking these truths hurt you, darling, but this is the only way for you to heal. The scars will remain on your body, but those on your soul will vanish once exposed to the light. I'm so sorry, my love, to suffer such cruelty. My heart breaks for you. No child should ever have to fear the adults they've been entrusted to. I hope you can believe me when I tell you no one will ever harm you again. Hold still while I press my lips to your scar, laying a kiss filled with love on the spot where you were hurt, releases you from any lingering pain or trauma. Be still, my darling. All better. You know, this ritual will get a lot more interesting once we reach the scars on the lower half of your body. Your blush never quite manages to dissipate before I say something to make it bloom again. It always enchants me to see you like this. A few words or a soft touch, and you melt into a puddle of embarrassment. Turn over and lay your head in my lap. I wish to play with your hair. That's very good. So obedient for me. I'd call you my pet, but that misrepresents your intellect and empathy. You're worth far more than some mindless beast. In the summer, I'll have to undertake a state visit to Tirsos, all for the usual tedious reasons: asserting our sovereignty, securing new trade agreements, etc. Still, there should be time in my schedule to relax with you. Tirsos has quiet gardens and the most stunning beaches on the continent, with endless stretches of white sand. We'll dine on the finest cuisine, then stroll along the shoreline as the sun dips below the horizon. Perhaps once night has truly fallen, we can make love beneath a tapestry of stars. Of course, there's plenty of places I'm going to take you in my own kingdom. We can wander through the southern vineyards, visit the grand marketplace, even climb the northern mountains together. I'm sure you'll look adorable bundled up in furs. I see your eyelids are getting heavy, my dear. I'm sure you want to sleep, but there's one last item on tonight's agenda. Wait here for a moment. I have a gift for you. I know you're uncomfortable with displays of extravagance, but this is far more important than some trinket. Take this scroll. I know the phrasing used is very obtuse, so allow me to explain in practical terms what the document means. You have officially been appointed as ruler of a very prosperous duchy in the Hotlands. You possess a gargantuan amount of farmland, as well as several towns and a finely furnished castle. Not that you'll be visiting it very often. You are now a very high-ranking member of the nobility. I understand your confusion. In your previous life, you were only connected to the upper class, while cutting their throats. Now you outrank almost all the lords and ladies who strut about in court. How did this happen? Well, the previous holder of this illustrious title is currently languishing in the cells far beneath our feet. Attempting to mount an insurrection against me has never been a shrewd plan. Now the position will be held by the only person I can completely trust. You. To be fully honest, there is another reason I'm gifting you this title. One of the oldest laws in the kingdom states that a monarch can never wed a commoner. Even my vast influence wouldn't be enough to overcome such a fundamental piece of legislation. However, now that you are noble, nothing can prevent our betrothal. Yes, I'm asking you to marry me, darling. I apologize for presenting you with a scroll rather than a ring, but I promise you'll receive one with enough diamonds to buy yourself another duchy. There is only one last question for you to answer. Do you wish to marry me? I'm so glad, my love. All these years of devising endless plots and machinations, but I've never felt more fulfilled than when I signed this document. Our love will be an official matter of record for all time. Of course, there is something I want from you in return. You must make love to me every night for the rest of our days. Do you accept this task, darling? So eager to answer. I'm not surprised by your passion. Well, there's no time like the present. I have a few more orders for you. I think we'll both enjoy you performing. To all of my patrons, thank you so much for supporting me. And to my spirit guides, Derp, Raptor, Sadira, Robert, and Doofy, thank you so very much.